Hello and welcome back to the OPL Week 3. I am Jake Spawn-Tiberi. Joining me on the desk today is Direwolves Jungler and Chief Slayer, Lachlan Sybil, and of course Julian Pastry Time Car. Sybil knocking off the Chiefs last week. That must have felt pretty good.
That felt really good, yeah. Was pretty scared after that first game. Got pretty far behind, just slowly lost, but really happy that we could pull it back, yeah.
And the Zach pickup in game 2. Is this an Oceanic special? You guys love this champion.
Yes, Zach. I love Zach so much. He's my favorite champ. I love being able to just pull the trigger whenever I want with him. That's my favorite thing.
Those long-range initiations definitely helped out in Game 2. And, you know, when we were talking to Carvin last week, I mentioned the fact that the first time I saw you on Summoner's Rift, you solo killed him on Rengar. Do you remember that moment? Because Carvin swears he does not.
That was one of my favorite moments, yeah. Oh, it was so good. It was at Armageddon, and I had 5 stacks of ferocity 4 minutes into the game in a bush, and Carbon face checked me, and I just one-shot him. The crowd was just like screaming, and I feel the rumbles. It was just so good.
That must have been a good moment. Get over to you, Julian. How are you going today?
It's great. Ever since I got here, it's just been story time with Sybil, so I'm having a great time here on the desk.
Certainly has been a lot of fun, but we have the schedule ready for you guys, so let's take a look at the games we have this week. It's going to be Avant taking on Infernums tonight, and then tomorrow, one of our marquee matchups of the season, Hellions taking on Legacy Esports, of course, two of our organizations with gaming houses. That should be absolutely massive. But we also have some news for you. There's going to be a schedule change in the future starting next Monday, the 8th. It will be the best of 3 on Monday night starting at 7 p.m. Australian Daylight Savings Time. Then the double headers will be moving across to Tuesday night. They will still start at 6 p.m. local time, and there will be one best of 3 on Wednesday night. That will start at 7 p.m. as well. But as always, for any other information on the schedule or on our players and teams, head over to the website oce.lolesports.com. So let's get into today's matchup. It will be Avant-Garde taking on Infernum. On the blue side for game 1, it's going to be Avant. And as you can see, Malaz in the top lane, Chelby their jungler, Rek their mid laner, Destiny as AD carry, and Blind Turkey as support. You know, a lot of changes for Avant coming into this season, but they do look like they are making good headway. On the other side of the rift, it will be their opponents, Infernum on the red side, Jack Attack in the top lane, Seb in the jungle, mid-beat their middle lane, Stealthix and Whiffle down in the bottom lane. But we do have a substitute for tonight. It will actually be Yuzuki starting in the support position, formerly of Legacy Genesis, and that's where I want to kick it off. Gentlemen, what do we think of Yuzuki? Does he change the way Infernum play?
I hope so, given that they had some good starts to the last few games that have been able to close it out just yet. Yuzuki, for me, strong challenger player, did play in Legacy Genesis, and he's a very smart, very vocal player. I think Infernum were lacking a bit of leadership more than anything else because they were able to get some early leads. So Yuzuki, it's hard because he's got to come in pretty fresh, but I think he might be able to do some of that.
Yeah, I think his leadership might actually help them here because they do look a little bit lost with Whiffle. So maybe he can bring some leadership to them. Maybe his memes are enough to carry them. We'll see.
Yeah, and I know that we were speaking about earlier that when we look at this lineup, heartbreaking loss against Hellions last week. Is that something that you think is a little bit too hard for this team to bounce back from? Can they do it?
They're going to have to. Last week was really rough. Two games that they really should have won. Just they let it slip away, and they can't let it happen again. They really need to pull back from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough to lose games, especially when they're that close, and they were able to get leads. Again, been impressed by Infernum's ability to find places on the map to get ahead, but maybe not as impressed with their ability to execute in the mid and late game and really come together as a team. So maybe Yuzuki changes some of that, but as far as this game goes, both of these teams have had tough opponents already. This is a really big test for these two teams to really start breaking out of their group and maybe towards the top of the pack.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, you know, when Legacy Genesis moved over to Trident, they lost Claire. They also lost Yuzuki. I was pretty vocal that I thought Yuzuki was key to that team. But taking a look at their opponents, Avant, they made a lot of changes. And we were concentrating a lot on the top half of the map because that's where a lot of the change was. But I know you're a big fan of Destiny at the moment and what he brings to the team.
Yeah, Destiny is a very strong AD carry, and I think people are really underrating him at the moment. And I think him and Malaz together can definitely pull through for this team. And yeah, Destiny's definitely a smart player. He knows where to position in a team fight, knows how to dish out all the damage. So yeah, I'm going to be looking at him.
Are you on the Destiny hype train, Faye?
Yeah, at least a little bit. Destiny's been a very vocal player about how strong he thinks and he and his team are. So I've been impressed with his play so far. Obviously looking forward to a bit more play, but for me it is about the top half of the map with Malaz. Chelby, I always love seeing him play well and just go off and fight people, but Malaz is this big carry top laner and Morgana top. Not really the big carry we're all thinking of here. I'd love to see the Cassio, but just get something like the Fiora, just get something a little harder, and I would love to see Malaz carry a game.
For sure. Malaz does need to get on one of those carry champs because he really can show up in that top lane. He's definitely one of the best top laners in the region, and he does need to get off that Morgana. Unless it suits the comp, sure, but he does need to get on a carry champ.
And I feel every time we talk about top lane, we naturally transition to jungle. You are a jungler yourself, Sybil. You know, Seb versus Chelby. That's an interesting matchup. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, yeah, Chelby's an OPL champion. He's got some, a big experience behind him. Seb's a solo queue talent. We'll see how it goes because I think Seb does get a lot of gold, so we'll have to see if maybe he can outshine Chelby.
And is this part of the Infernum problem that Seb picks up the early kills and isn't able to translate? He's had a couple of games on Elise. I think this is a problem with Elise in general. I know you like the pick. Yeah. Do you agree?
I do agree. You have to be very careful with how you build Elise, because if you do get ahead and you go full AP and then you get caught and get one shot, you just lost a lot of gold for your team. So you do have to be very careful when you do that. And
Chelby, he's a contentious jungler. Some people love playing against him. I know Carbon is one he always talks about. You can just always fight him, always down for a fight. Spooks, on the other hand, he's like, I have no idea where he's going to be on the map. He tries to fight Swiper all the time. I don't know why he's up there. What are your thoughts? Do you really mind playing against Chelby?
No, Chelby doesn't really get my way much. I think he's a good jungler, but he's not one I'm scared of, I'd say. So yeah, Seb, however, he does get in your way. He can get a lot of gold and then one-shot you, yeah.
So are you thinking that maybe Seb is the key here for Infernum?
I mean, from what we've seen from Infernum, so many of the good early games came from when Seb was applying pressure. Maybe, yeah, he needs to be a bit more generous with his gold and gift it to some of his teammates, but Seb is the reason, for the most part, they're getting ahead in these early games.
Yeah.
Again, it's just a matter of Seb converting that pressure somewhere else and Infernum playing together. I can't stress how much the meta right now is so team-oriented.
Yeah, it certainly does look to be that way. And, transitioning into the mid lane, the last lane we haven't really talked about, they're playing with a sub still Avant-Garde. It is going to be Wrecked, and their triple still not of age yet. What have you thought of Wrecked? Because a lot of people were talking about him last year as this solo queue talent. Has he impressed you at the moment?
He's definitely a solid player. He's been around for a while, and I think they're probably going to look better with Triple Cheese, but that doesn't mean Wrecked's bad. I just think we just need to see until they get Triple Cheese. AB probably need to watch out for that, I'd say.
Yeah, I can agree. I think everyone's excited about Triple because this is very young, clearly very young talent, sort of coming up from solo queue. But Rek to me is a player that has certainly had some praise from him and is also a young player. I think if maybe Malaz is sticking to more of the tanks, which are somewhat prevalent in the meta as well, depending on where they want to go, then Rek does have to step up there. So I'd love to see Rek really go up. For me, it's just the Avant solo laners. Go up and smash somebody because you guys are really good.
I would actually like to see Wrecked on LeBlanc though, because his LeBlanc is very scary. I hate versing that.
As a jungler, you're like, oh.
Yeah, he can one-shot you. It's never fun being one-shot. And on the other side of the rift, it is mid-beast. And, 7 mid-beast synergy has always been very good. They played on a team together. That's why they like to bring him in. Is that something that you think Infernum need to look to exploit?
For sure, yeah. Their synergy is one of the best. They're good together. And I think Cookie and Bomb, they're the dynamic duo. They're pretty scary together. So yeah, we're gonna have to see if those two, that'll be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, it certainly will be. But guys, the players are ready, the casters are ready. So let's throw over there to Atlas and Rusty.
Thank you very much, Spawn. Very excited to get into this game, of course, Infernum versus Avant. And I want to start talking about the top lane. They've mentioned it briefly here as Sybil was talking about Malaz, how he can carry there on the top lane. He's against Jack Attack. And if I look down at my notes here, Malaz has played Tahm-Kench, Morgana, Mundo. Is he just pretending to be Jack Attack?
No, not exactly. He does have the tendency towards tanks, and as Pastry even said on the desk, it suits the meta much more. Tanks are very prevalent, so going towards those types of champions. We all know deep down that he's a carry player. Everyone that we've had on the desk that is an OPL player has said he's potentially a top 3 top laner.
Yeah.
We want to see him on these carries, get his team across the line.
And need to see him get out of his shell, of course. Jack Attack himself, last pick was that Olaf as well. He's moving towards maybe a little bit more of that running back damage dealer type tank player, but look, we'll see what happens. But bans coming through thick and fast as we hop into Chancellor. Kassadin being banned away first on the side of Avant, and Gangplank, no surprise they're going to be banned away by Infernum.
Yeah, taking away the GP. The Kassadin's the only outlier there with the particular ban. Rex known as an assassin player, so taking that away from Midbeast says that they respect him on this particular champion. Midbeast, of course, not confined in champion pool. There's another one.
Yeah, exactly. Lulu going to be banned away as well. Jack Attack has played it in the past, although it doesn't look like a tank, so probably not necessarily his staple pickup here. And I like the Kassadin ban just because Rek, he really wants to play LeBlanc. Well, so you may as well ban away the champions that have a decent matchup into the guy. But Graves is going to be the next ban away here from Chelby. We'll see what happens. Of course, both of these players Elise fans at the moment as far as Chelby and Seb. But Chelby has brought out the Zac. we know our friend Sybil on the desk is pretty excited about.
Chelby's got a deep champion pool. Those pockets run real deep. You'd almost run out of arm reaching down. Honestly, Seb, more confined with his champions, but wants to carry, has a higher tendency to do so, and that reflects basically through the damage that they deal in games. Chelby, only 13% of his team's damage, whereas Seb, 22% of his team's damage, which
Ridiculous.
is a massive margin to consider even after only 4 games.
It certainly is. Of course, Chelby's champion pool, like you said, about as deep as the amount of times he's changed his name. It's a very, very large amount of times.
That's super deep, that's for sure.
As Malaz is going to be able to lock in the Tahm Kench. So it looks like he's not stepping towards, unless they're flexing it. It looks like at the moment that they're not stepping towards the carry top laner. There's Jack Attack now considering the Trundle. A little bit nerfed at the moment, but Seb going to pick up the very strong Corki. Could be played in the mid lane there, or could be given over to Stealthix, who does like the short range 80 carry.
Safe to note that it should be the Trundle support. Jack Attack may not want to go towards this champion. He could even, I guess Poppy is banned as well, but Malaz's going for that super tank. I will say Tahm Kench is one of the damage tanks.
Yes, that's true. Of course. Spoken to no end about the fact that he can stop split pushes and also be almost impossible to kill. As AV have locked in some pretty decent pick potential in these 2 ones, but also still very versatile in the Elise and the Thresh.
Yeah, they've got themselves a pick composition well and truly in place. Malaz on this Tahm Kench can deal with any split pusher reasonably effectively. Not all of them, but most of them, as Tahm Kench is pretty ridiculous, to say the least. So really, Avant-Garde leaving their AD carry and their mid laner out of this. Lucianor is a possibility for Destiny. He's yet to play anything else so far in the OPL. They could just work around what they've got so far with the Elise Thresh. Just pick damage.
Yeah, they may as well. I'm actually surprised Chelby didn't pick up the Rek'Sai here because they have all the makings of what looks like AV's favorite team comp, which involves Tahm Kench, Rek'Sai, and of course Lucian and Thresh. They played those 4 champions twice in a row, managed to come out with victories there in their first game against Hellions, but not going to be the case as they let the Rek'Sai slip through, and Seb's going to pick that one up for himself. And Alistair actually picked up 4th round here for Infernum. Normally massive priority, but when you've got Blind Turkey on your roster, you probably want to play Thresh.
Absolutely. Blind Turkey's a monster Thresh, so they do pick that one here for Avant-Garde, whereas Infernum, Yuzuki can definitely play that, which does mean Jack Attack in that top lane is going to pick up Trundle into the Tahm Kench. And back and forth matchup, you'll have to say. Jack naturally on Trundle, can be a tank, has a lot of sustain, will be perfectly fine with that champion. And I'd be surprised if Midbeast isn't playing this Corki.
Well, it is going to be the LeBlanc picked into it. And I actually really like the fact that they just made sure they put that Trundle in the top lane just because he knows that he's against this super tank, can use that subjugate to such great effect in those team fights later on. Or if he's going to be split pushing, just make sure he can get that Tahm Kench as squishy as possible. But AV, surprise, surprise, lock in the Lucian, and it is going to be the LeBlanc one more time. So 4 out of 5 of the champions that they won with first game around. We'll see whether they're going to be just as successful here against Infernum.
I will say that no surprises across the board for Avant with their team composition. What they have done is given Infernum arguably the strongest champions in every role besides maybe top lane, which is just the facilitator. They're going to be a tank that does their job. Rek'Sai is a phenomenal jungler at the moment. You can utilize a lack of vision across the map early game and just keep lanes pressured and or Chelby in this jungle role pressured. Same thing goes with having the last pick here. Across the board, power picks for Infernum.
Yeah, a whole lot. And look, still flexing that Corki. They were hovering the Callista here in Infernum, just showing that they can mix this one around. Have given it over to Stealthix there on the 80 carry position. So 80 carry Corki, pretty standard still, but now with Yuzuki in the roster on the Alistair, and we've already heard words about Yuzuki, the fact that he has sort of led a team in Legacy Genesis, of course now Trident.
Yeah.
And we'll see whether now on this playmaking champion, whether he can make a little bit more of an impact and create more plays here for Infernum, which they were lacking last week.
Well, absolutely. If he's going to be playing a champion like Alistair, then he's got the means to engage for his team. So at the very least, the shot calling will be very seamless for this support for Infernum now in Yuzuki. In saying that, Midbeast has the way to go in also. And looking at this side prior to even having Yuzuki when it was Whiffle, they needed someone else to step up and go in anyway. Midbeast was always trying to fill those shoes. Now there's 2 members that can do it, which is a strict upgrade near immediately here for Infernum.
Yeah, it's really true. And the fact that they do have so much untargetability, of course, you sort of put the Unbreakable Will in that category just because he almost takes no damage there on the Alistair. But then you've got the Lysandra there as well. They've got so much area of control for the rest of the team to really just wreak havoc. And then you've got, of course, Jack Attack up there just wailing on people with his club. But on the side of Avant, they're just very comfortable. They've got all of these picks that they're very, very happy to play. We'll see exactly what's going to happen. But, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you. Use that hashtag AVWin or the hashtag INFWin if you think either of these teams are going to take the victory, whether it's going to be AV continuing on to a 2-1 scoreline or whether Infernum are going to find their first victory here in the OPL. And look, it looks very, very close so far. It looks like the draft has gone pretty evenly for both teams, but do you put any sort of further ahead based on these champion picks? Of course, you were outspoken about Infernum being pretty strong.
I will say that Avantgarde's draft is good and it's comfortable, but what they have given over to Infernum is a team composition you rarely want to give all of these power picks available as the double duck.
Oh my goodness, he's hiding in the other duck.
That's never made sense to me.
It's so cute. Oh, best start to a game ever, ladies and gentlemen, as we are onto the Rift. AV versus Infernum as Destiny and Stealthix going to trade blows here in the mid lane, and Infernum, bit of an aggressive invade. Shelby going to spot them out. Not actually going to find too much apart from a venomous Spiderling. It does a heck of a lot of damage.
Yeah, they're brute forcing their way in. They have an Alistar, so they're more than welcome to do so. And really leave Avant with no options other than to watch it happen. The immediate response, of course. Flip side, they're going to ward the opposition blue buff area. Try and spot those lane swaps. Just getting knowledge.
Malaz, cheeky devil.
Oh, is he going to stop him?
Oh, he's looking for it. Gets the tongue lash. Oh, that is so frustrating.
This is so bad.
He might get the stun here as well if he waits for that cooldown. There it is. Seb already down to half health
Minions
as the Grasp of the
spawn.
Undying comes in, and Seb is going to struggle to get any jungle camps.
He's going to have to flash. This is the never-ending tongue lash.
Oh my god.
Seb's now going to have to get the biggest leash of his life.
That was a licking frenzy.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. And they didn't recall at the same time here. Coordination, you have to say, it's a small detail to consider, but if Malaz can make your life hell from recalling late, then you've made a big mistake.
Yep. Seb says, oh no, it's okay guys. I used some of his mana. Jack Tech, you're going to be fine. As AV, they are going to be starting off on these Krugs. As it looks, it is going to be standard lanes breaking out after those deep wards have gone down. And both of these solo lanes going to pick up a little bit of extra experience before entering the lane. Seb still looking fine. Of course, Rek'Sai jungle's pretty healthy.
Somewhat. The first clear, you get a little bit low on that health bar, but generally speaking, you will be fine, especially if you get the smite onto the Krugs.
Oh, Blind Turkey already going aggressive here as Destiny just says, nah, I want minions, mate.
This is a level 1 Alistar standard.
Yep.
Thresh has a lot more impact in this laning phase, especially if you start with Flay. Bonus damage on the auto attack and inactive.
Most definitely. We'll see whether that level 3 is going to be important here for Infernum, though, whether they can make any moves with that Headbutt Pulverize combo. Not to mention Stealthix with all of his buttons available would be a good thing. But already getting shoved out of lane here just a little bit. The level advantage here for Blind Turkey, pretty strong.
And only a small advantage here for Avant through that bottom lane, but definitely noteworthy as the pressure that they are putting into the bottom lane unlocks the rest of the map, as you're seeing.
Yeah, Chelby actually playing aggressively here. Lands the Cocoon. Spiderling going to land after, but not too much is going to be gained as Midbeast may miss out on a cannon creep. Oh, it's going down low, but he gets it with the claw. There it is. Beautiful.
Damn it, Atlas. Always the cannons. Always the cannons.
It's important, man.
The never-ending battle.
Oh, they're like 2.5 creeps in one.
Every 3 waves is a mini heart attack. I'll say that much. And
oh, yeah.
something you have to keep in mind, every lane here, almost except top, is winning for Avant. Look at this damage. It's ridiculous.
The chain lands. I thought Midbeast was going to be able to get something back there with a nice Ring of Frost, but nah. The trading power of Dis LeBlanc, even early,
He's
is
going to
very
miss
strong.
so many of these minions, and it is 10 to 21 in farm. He missed. He got one, I think, in that entire wave. The pressure that Rekt is putting on here is ridiculous. This middle lane's already in massive trouble. Even from the potion advantage, the pressure that LeBlanc's able to put on the map gives time for Chelby to do as he would please around the jungle area of Infernum. And considering that Seb is the catalyst of their success in this early game, to not have a Rek'Sai available or to force him into one lane can kind of pressure Infernum into making further mistakes.
Yeah, and that even more credit over to Malaz for that as well. Being able to stop him from getting a healthy early start on this Rek'Sai has really made Seb sort of feel like he's playing from behind already. You can see focusing on the farm here as he's taking his blue buff for the first time.
I mean, the only solution I could give them right now is to actually give that blue over to Midbeast, but then you run the risk of giving it to LeBlanc.
Yeah.
Having that ignite against teleport actually a big factor in these trades. And he's going to have to recall with 17 CS.
Oh my god, to 29 here. Wrecked almost going to be doubling the CS of his lane opponent after this. The teleport doesn't look like it's going to be used from mid-base to get back to this lane just because it was so far pushed up. He doesn't seem to find it worth it as Chelby, he's going to find his way in, wants to get the repel to create some distance. There he is in range of the cocoon now. Tongue Lash comes out for the slow, and they manage to land it. Jack Attack forced to flash, and there's a traffic cone defensively as Avant break away.
And Jack Attack does get out, but a Summoner Spell burned. Content with that in this top lane. If he ever has to recall, we'll still have a teleport. We'll see if Shelby comes back. Oh my god.
Oh, the Flash Pulverize not going to be enough. Destiny actually caught out of his ride on the Lantern as Yuzuki going to get flayed back. Nice tower damage going to come through as AV managed to get past it. But man, moving out of the way of that Flash Pulverize was huge.
That was mechanically excellent from Destiny. Yuzuki not hitting the mark with the Pulverize, but that's because it was dodged. More pressure mid. But the fact that they didn't get a kill bottom is actually a big deal. That Summoner Spell's expended here for nothing.
And you can see Avant still very, very strong in this lane. More than happy to push up. You can see Chelby taking away a pink ward. Mid-base now with an item advantage, but Wrecked still, you can see how confident he is, still happy to play up as look at that movement from Destiny. Takes the Lantern. It's a nice knock-up, but just not enough.
No, not at all. And of course, fantastic from Destiny, walking the opposite direction, knowing that Alistar was about to come in. Pretty simple, pretty work, basically. Didn't even have to use a summoner, didn't dash, didn't flash. Just took the Lantern, dashed to safety after.
Yeah, it's just, that reaction time is ridiculous as there's the headbutt Pulverize. He's going to find him that time, but Death Sentence not going to get knocked up as Seb just can't find the Unburrow in time, and AV just schooling him.
This is how to survive ganks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Avant-Garde. That was a flash from Blind Turkey only this time to make sure that the Lantern took him past Seb and to a point of safety. Looking after his AD carry is in his best interest, and rightly so, given that Destiny is the sole almost and primary carry of Avant-Garde. 82% kill participation and does 37% of his team's damage. Most of Avant is on his back.
Yeah, Destiny has definitely shown that he can carry. And he's done so on this champion and this champion alone.
The only Lucian player.
Of course, Stealthix is a Lucian player. They had the opportunity to pick that one up a little bit earlier in the draft. We'll see whether Infernum adjusts that as we move into game number 2. But right now, we're still very much in early days. First Blood yet to go down at 7.5 minutes as Chelby's going to take down the Rift Scuttler. And so far, you can see CS advantages across the board in the lanes for Avant. But they're getting closed in just a little bit. Mid-base doing a decent job trying to claw his way back as that CS lead hasn't really extended for quite some time.
Yeah, things slowing down a little bit.
Oh my god! How did that even land as there's a really nice headbutt Pulverize, but that may mean that Stealthix has to go back. What was that?
That was just phenomenal work here from Blind Turkey. Connects the nigh on impossible hook. Puts a very awkward predicament here for Stealthix, who no longer has his heal. And wow, this is why you don't give him Thresh.
Just don't even.
I can't believe that was so effective. This
Destiny
hook,
auto attacks a minion.
Yeah, look.
Oh, with
the
its
minion dies.
culling.
Yeah, so the minion dies.
God.
The fact that that even worked. This bot lane from Avant-Garde is a big deal.
I have a feeling if Destiny had the mana, he probably would have killed him just then.
He got comboed from Yuzuki, so I think he was just within the realm of safety.
Well, definitely danger times here for Infernum's bottom laners. It is going to be a Sheen picked up as well as the makings of that Phage. Stealthix about halfway to his Trinity Force thus far. You can see Jack Attack took a lot of damage from Malaz as he made his way back into the lane now with the Kindle Gem and that Chain Vest, and he's going to be able to grab himself the makings of the Spirit Visage as his first item. Jack Attack, of course, not necessarily known to go carry style, so already getting the defensive items.
Midbeast hasn't teleported once. He's walked to lane twice now and hasn't actually used his teleport. And you start to question the efficiency of having that summoner spell if you're just by default going to lose your lane. And not use your teleport to keep yourself healthy.
Yeah.
He needs to find some use for that, because the ignite pressure that Wrecked has just by holding his summoner spell is becoming much more efficient. Look at the CS advantage.
Yeah, you create that in... Oh my goodness.
That's what you get for creative gank pathing, Seb. The dragon doesn't like you.
Got to watch out for that Bernie item that he's managed to pick up there in the Barmy Cinder. Well, it looks like Chelby's actually skirting around. Not going to see that ward as Blind Turkey waiting off to the side, but Stealthic's going to get safely underneath this turret for now. See, farming with those rockets, making sure he stays safe. Because this is the lane that just seems to be the real problem for Infernum at the moment. And Shelby's poking his head around.
And that's the dangerous thing. Look at the item spike here for Rekt. Does have his Frost Queen's claim available to him. In comparison, Mid Beast, you would have to assume working towards Rod of Ages, has a Blasting Wand. Yeah. So at this point in the game, absolute power in that middle lane goes to Rekt. His ability to rotate around the map is entirely on him.
Yeah, the ridiculous part is now, if any sort of engage breaks out in the jungle, Rekt can just slow them down, pick them off one by one. You can see already moving his way forward. See where he does put his pink
See how
ward.
they avoid the tunnels as well?
Yeah.
But they're about to get spotted by a ward.
Oh, Frost Queens comes out though. Flash Tongue Lash comes in as Jack Attack does have his flash back up. Gets underneath his turret as Chelby lines up the cocoon under it. Is able to use the repel to get himself out of trouble as Jack Attack was eaten. My God, that was close as First Blood comes in for, I believe, the red buff of Chelby. Infernum going to answer with a dragon.
So Infernum do answer. Blind Turkey's going to try and be the miracle hook again, but doesn't connect. And Avant-Garde, they utilize the item spike we mentioned. They go top lane and dive at Trundle, which is not an easy task, especially given his item build. But they do manage to succeed, even if barely, an effective use of that roam.
Yeah, really nicely done. Of course, Dragon this early on, not all that important, but AV may need to start paying attention if Infernum can get a few back-to-back, but I'd say probably a win here for AV, especially now if they get the turret. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so they find an objective trade and they get the kill, but this objective gives them gold, and that's entirely reflected in their gold lead that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, need that money.
Find Seb.
Can't even get himself some Krugs. His Blind Turkey still wants it. Oh, Death Sentence dodged. Blind there from Seb. Really nicely done. There's the Frost Queen's claim. Rekt saying, yeah, I'm spooky, guys.
That'd be really cool to watch from Seb's perspective, because all he can see is
the Tremor Sense,
and he saw the Tremor Sense stop. And so he had to blindly assume that it was a hook.
That is really cool. Well, nice play there from Seb. As Catalyst is now done for Mid Beast, pretty close to that Rod of Ages, which will still be coming in at a relatively clean rate. Now being able to get back up in that farm. 100 to 105 actually.
Yeah.
Well, 110 now that Rekt has cleaned out that wave, but not too bad. He's managed to come back. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that was because he had to roam. Oh, we get to see this. Nice. Stops moving. No more tremors. Must be a hook. Perfect.
Oh, so cute.
That was really nice from Seb. That was actually really impressive.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, Seb.
Oh, Malaz is hungry. Is it dinner time? No, Seb's coming in. He's been eaten. Grey health is available for Malaz, but we'll see whether he pops it in time. Is able to. Really nice clip on that one as he will have to get out of here, but no flash as he used it in the gank, and Seb is going to be able to pick up the first kill for Infernum.
An over-aggression from Malaz with a big minion stack favoring Jack Attack. Seb comes in at the right time. Can Shelby defend this, though? Well, all signs point to yes.
Yeah, going to coax them out of the way here as there were missing pings in the mid lane. Rekt now going to turn back up again, but Infernum are still going to back away. Harold now the target.
Yep, so again, a lot of trading across the board here from Avant and Infernum. Infernum in particular taking objectives, the Dragon once they kill top, and now the Rift Herald once they get a kill in top lane themselves. They're moving around the map with a reasonable amount of efficiency here.
Yeah.
Just not translating it into gold.
A little bit unfortunate. We'll see whether it pays off in the later stages of the game, which is where we're asking most of the questions for Infernum, of course. With Yuzuki on the lineup, whether they can make a few more proactive moves. It has been where AV have been able to win a lot of their games. Of course, they've brought the games well and truly to the late game. Their series against Hellions, especially game number 1, 50-odd minutes. And they were able just to make the correct calls as the game got towards the end.
There's a big power spike here for Avant's bottom lane, the 2v2. No Trinity Force available for Stealthic, so if they keep him in this lane, they can actually look for potential 4-man dives, something to that extent. Entirely up to what they would like to do with it. But just knowing that they're ahead in items is a big deal, and that's why they're just hard pushing, pressuring down that turret. slowly chip away at it from at least minions.
And if you can get rid of those minions as well, Blind Turkey able to wind up these hooks over and over again, threaten the positioning of Infernum as Chelby now moving aggressively through the jungle. Seb's already down here though, Harold buff swirling about.
He knows.
He's going to get cocooned as Chelby just gets a combo on him. We'll move on. Doing a fair bit of damage on this Elise now as well. He's going for the more defensive route with the Cinder Hulk.
Yeah, kind of. It's a decent idea, honestly. They've got the team composition for it. If you go cooldown reduction, tank Elise, throw more cocoons. Careful.
Yeah, there's the flash engage. Will he get headbutted back? There's the flash. Nice play from Blind Turkey as he puts the box down. The heel's there, but the rocket's going to seal the deal for Infernum. Chelby coming in, maybe a little bit late, but there's the teleport in from Avant. Will they be able to kill Stealthix here as the answering teleport comes down? Midbeast wants to get in, but is going to cancel it in the end. And AV now still with the pressure.
But that teleport being cancelled from Jack Attack could spell the tower to fall. Jack may have to trade in the top lane. We'll see what Avant can do here. Yuzuki still exists.
Very scary, and you see as soon as Wrecked leaves that mid lane, Infernum not going to escape from underneath their turret as Midbeast. He's going to use his E to get over the wall here, but takes the full Mimic distortion damage. Locked down by the chains at max range there as well as Wrecked really wants it. Couple of auto attacks come in. He's going to be able to land it. Really nice scrying orb, and he gets the 1v1.
Yeah, Midbeast not having the ultimate available, the spelling detail in that, as we are going to watch what happens in the bottom lane. Keep in mind the teleports come out from their respective laners. And actually fight in the mid lane is what forced Midbeast ultimate, and that's why Rex continues to go on him during this trade. Both top laners, they try and teleport. Jack Attack changes his mind, and he's now trying to get that top turret on the mini screen up there and gets it.
Nicely done. Gets licked for it here as Malaz really wants to chase him. And I love it when he look at him. It's adorable, but he wants to have Jack Attack for dinner. He's going to eat him, gets him off his ground as well, which is exactly what he doesn't want as he's trying to run away. But this could be the chain CC of destiny. No, it's a really, really nice pillar. Malaz is going to get stopped, but Jack Attack just can't go 1v1 against this guy, even though he's so far ahead in that farm.
Malaz actually misplayed that. He went for the tongue for the slow instead of the stun. But he had the advantage in positioning to get 3 autos before throwing the tongue to guarantee a stun and keep him next to you. Instead, Jack Attack able to freely walk away. Very low chance of killing a Trundle anyway.
That's a good point. Does almost have his Titanic Hydra there as well, as the Tiamat has been built up. See how he does build this Trundle as we move on, but I'm glad to see that he does have some extra damage. The split push power of this Trundle will be important.
Yeah. Avant's pressure as well. You can see the wards on the map, focusing entirely around where Seb's going, which is near the dragon area. Mostly defensive. Midbeast.
Oh, he's being caught out. Seb's going to find his way in as Midbeast doesn't follow the claw. Nice pressure though, threatening with that ability.
Yeah, and they've actually sent Corki to the middle lane with his Trinity Force spike to deal with the Blanc. I don't agree with that. It looks like Avant, they're focusing where their vision is.
Yeah, they are going to be able to take the second dragon of the game. Their first one. Shelby locks that one down. As Wreck now just moving down the river. No one wanting anything to do with this LeBlanc. 1-0-1. Luden's Echo now completed as well as the Frost Queen's claim. Feeling pretty comfortable at the moment. It's Shelby just looking to push this one up. We'll see whether they can get any damage on this mid lane outer turret.
Not likely.
Nah,
Shelby kind of just doing the rippy. It's my farm. In other words,
yep.
Decides to help tax that lane for the purpose of pushing.
Help push it. Help push the lane.
Exactly.
Is what
pushing,
he'd say. Yeah.
Pushing the lane. Effective use of time.
Exactly. Well, Seb, he's here in the mid lane. They have a pink ward, so he wasn't spotted heading in. Nice Dark Passage, going to get Destiny out of the way.
This Thresh has been what keeps Destiny alive the entire time. Is the Lucian an issue from Destiny? Probably not. Is the Thresh? Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Without that Thresh being there, there's been more than one moment where Infernum could have maybe gotten that pick on what is the primary carry for Avant-Garde. Instead, they get a bottom turret, they alleviate pressure in that middle lane, and now they're working on it as well.
Well, Blind Turkey, of course, 100% win rate on the Thresh. Hasn't found any other victories as he lost on Poppy and Alistair in the last series. It's Destiny now with a bit of damage going to head towards the mid lane and try and siege this one out. Cocoon not going to find it as Yuzuki going to get knocked back. Nice cocoon onto Stealthix as Midbeast found his way in. Seb over the wall as well as the Spider Lady's just like, nope, 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 nope. He is going to be able to get out in time.
But it is a tank at least, to say the least. So that much damage. Probably not going to come down onto her and walk away casually. Just meander his way through. And the pressure is going to maintain here. In this middle lane is an Elise Thresh composition. In a 3v3, they're happy.
Oh, Death Sentence lands Cocoon as well as Yuzuki in so much trouble. Uses the ultimate, but the Ignite burning for true damage. Not going to be enough. I am just getting excited. It's down to about 100 health, but we'll have to go home.
Yeah, very casually walks away Alistar. Pops the R button, but this is one member missing. And he won't have the ultimate for a little while. Again, the pressure that they're maintaining in this middle lane. We said they're 3v3 strong. Well, they're sticking to their guns. And that's a free objective.
Yeah, and the thing is that, I mean, Yuzuki was all of their dive protection, right? As that Alistar with the ultimate, so just a bit of a free objective there as Malaz able to go toe-to-toe with Jack Attack quite nicely. Does have his Swifty Boots with the Distortion enchantment. Going to have his teleport a little bit more readily than Jack Attack. And you could see in the bottom lane it was wrecked, trying to push that lane in.
Look at the mini-map.
Okay.
And look at the pink wards for Avant.
Oh my god.
They're just a line. They've made a line across the map and just said, this is our vision. My concern with that is now they've secured a 3k gold lead, got all of the outer turrets. They need to move that line forward and actually start to command their lead a little bit further.
What the heck, Destiny? Did he just buy Rapid Fire Cannon and Boots too from only Essence Reaver?
Wasn't paying attention to that.
I think he may have. That's a big buy. That's 40% cooldown reduction now from 10. Quite frightening.
Puts him well and truly ahead of Stealthix, though, who's working towards that rapid fire cannon. About 1,300 gold away from that, I believe.
Yeah. Malaz trying to stop this push. He's going to do so quite nicely. Infernum, I mean, once again, we're seeing this team that just doesn't look like they're able to do anything around the map. And at the moment, it's based on the fact that AV are just commanding where they need to go.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And we look at Jack Attack as the split push threat that needs to bring multiple members to him. But really, don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Malaz can deal with that.
Yeah, well, Blue Pandatron thinks that they might be able to get something done here in Infernum, but the hook's going to land onto Jack Attack. It ain't looking good, Blue Pandatron. As Infernum are now trying to get the engage. Yuzuki flashes forward. Destiny's going to get picked off. Massive pulverize. I spoke too soon as Malaz is now doing his best to tank everyone up. Another hook lands as Chelby is trying to get damage down. Wrecked still here, but he face plants the wall. Malaz is going to fall now, and Infernum get 2 quick kills.
And the Prophet has spoken. That tweet couldn't have been better timed. Infernum, they engage effectively here. Take down Avantgarde. 2 of their members are dead. One's the tank, and one is their most important damaged threat that they're trying to keep alive in Destiny. Lucian gone. It means Infernum have complete control of this map besides Wrecked. All they need to do is respect his damage, and that's free objectives about to crash down. And money for Infernum's pockets.
Yeah, I think that was a spoiler. Blue Pandatron was like tweeting from the future as Yuzuki's going to try and engage. Blind Turkey in trouble now as well as the Clara Doom comes in. Midbeast grabs the kill as Jack Attack may have found himself a bit far forward. Destiny now back in this fight as Infernum thinking that they might just back away. Cocoon's going to land onto Seb. He's a very tanky member of this team. They have an opportunity to possibly re-engage. There are still low health bars on AV, but they're pressing forward.
They could honestly keep pushing mid lane right now.
Abyssal Voyage is possible here too.
Or work towards Baron and secure Vision, depending on what they want to do here. Remember, Infernum's team composition's just got wave clear everywhere. I think it's best to work on their Vision, consolidate what they can, given that fight came crashing down around them very quickly.
Well, Shelby going to capitalize, but let's look at this fight again.
And of course, Destiny was overextended here entirely. Yuzuki with the pulverize with the flash was phenomenal work. And of course, Midbeast used that ultimate to secure his death. Malaz then just completely caught between 4 members of Infernum as Yuzuki is zoning. And that Alistar play set them up so nicely.
Yeah, we were expecting good things from Yuzuki, and that's exactly how you started up. So now they're going for their 2nd dragon of the game. Infernum now with a bit of control here. Of course, still behind about 1.5 thousand gold. That is nothing to worry about. 24 minutes into this game as Stealthix, he's got a package and he wants to deliver it to Avant.
Yeah, the gold lead that was 3k has narrowed. Be a little bit closer than it were. This is a great comeback start here for Infernum. See if they can maintain this. As we're at that point of the game where only one outer turret's remaining, and that is Mid-Beast hitting it now.
Yeah, and Shelby actually going towards the Rylai's Crystal Scepter after that Cinderhulk. Of course, bit of synergy between those two items. I like the fact that he's picked up a bit of extra damage.
That's it. Every single outer turret has gone down, and this is the point where vision is actually that much more important. Avant were trying to set up for it, and they lost the team fight. Infernum's turn to try and answer it themselves and get another good fight, because if they do, you'd have to say momentum shifts entirely in their favor.
Yeah. I think it's based on who gets the pick, and there are a lot of
Shelby's
tools
caught.
for both of these teams. Yeah, Shelby will need to find himself a cocoon or a flash onto a lantern that isn't going to get there as he gets over the top. Yuzuki just a bit too fat as he's standing on that light.
Yeah, Blind
not gonna be
Turkey
able to get him
also walked away.
Oh,
so the
right.
lantern just
It's
disappeared.
like- yeah, no, so
exactly.
oh, Descent's not going to be taken, and Shelby out of position. It's going to cost them.
Absolutely. They're looking towards controlling the Baron area, and this is what we said. Get vision, set up around vision, make picks. Advanced Comp is designed to make picks, but Infernum are the ones doing it.
Yeah, and they're actually making, like what we said, proactive plays. Again, Blue Pandatron.
Shelby was
just not sure how he managed to tweet from the future. They weren't ahead yet. They weren't making these moves yet. And then as soon as that comes through, bam! Impressed with
confirmed
Infernum.
Infernum member.
Yeah, exactly.
Tweeting while playing.
Oof. Impressive stuff. Apparently, if you tweet in, you're going to get a heck of a lot of airtime. So you know. Infernum, though, shoving out this mid lane. Haven't seen too much from Rek just recently. Of course, he didn't fall in the last couple of engages, but wasn't able to get too much done. It's going to be important for this mid laner to really make things work. Luden's Echo now online, of course, with Rabbidan's Death Cap coming up in the near future. He's going to be very strong once that 30% extra AP comes in. Those three items.
Yeah. Everything's starting to mount up here. No Zonias for Lissandro, still a pretty big deal.
2 chains. Oh, Malaz and Jack Attack just battling. Jack Attack not really too worried there, as he does still have the Subjugate. Acidity boots Thresh. Why? Says Regret. Oh my goodness. Okay, Shelby going to try and make his way out. He can take that lantern, but Blind Turkey not exactly in the best position as Infernum looking for a potential dive. Don't go in. Mid-B says, no, you can live this time, Destiny. And he's now got the QSS, which is so important against this Lissandra.
Absolutely is, of course. Destiny will be a lot happier now, a lot more survivable with these team fights, and you are right, Mr. Flying, or Regret, I should say.
Yeah, Flying
Regret.
Yeah.
Of Legacy support, questioning the lucidity boots here for Blind Turkey.
Flying Regret just makes me think of him like jumping off a cliff or something like that. Sort of makes sense, right? You're flying.
You don't really need that.
You're regretting it. It's like, oh, I forgot my parachute. Regret. Never mind. Infernum heading forward. Destiny once again the target. This mid base is playing very far up.
I think the point I was going to make is he doesn't actually need the lucidity boots.
No, I don't think so
But
either.
it's efficient CDR in terms of its cost. And if you need the CDR now rather than later, I mean, it's an investment that you might be wasting if things start to go poorly.
Yep.
When they were ahead, I would be okay with it, but now, maybe not.
Well, they were ahead, of course. There's the QR combo as Yuzuki takes a bit of damage, but he's an Alistar, probably not going to die anytime soon. The claw comes in, mid-base looking for it with the flash. Blind Turkey going to be the target, but he flashes out of the way. Shelby looking for a cocoon, but doesn't get in there as Jack Attack. Now with a traffic cone, they've split up this fight quite nicely as Blind Turkey in there with the hook. Destiny now has been caught out, but the headbutt gets him to safety. Blind Turkey now as well. Does have that one available as Shelby's going to fall down in amidst that fight as Jack Attack picks up the kill, but he's the only death.
And Yuzuki headbutts Destiny out to safety as the flash was also used. You have to keep that in mind. So the headbutt, maybe not intentional, to knock him to a safe zone. And Infernum, they only get one pick from an engage that severe. You question whether they can continue to push anything further. AV still have that Lucian, and he's got his culling available. So not a major success here by any means for Infernum, but still a win.
Yeah, not too bad. Seb's able to push up this bottom lane as well as Rack just says, get out of my house. I got spooky ghosts. He's going to be able to fend him off for now, but let's have a look at this one again. It was very chaotic.
Yeah, so Midbeast used the self-cast ultimate. Blind Turkey kind of just casually walks away because of this. Not having the Zonias on Lissandra is the only reason you would self-cast there. The flash from Destiny is what gets him to safety as Yuzuki presses the headbutt to knock him into the rest of Infernum. They only get the one pick. Could have been a lot worse if Destiny didn't flash.
They certainly could. Seb's going to construct himself an entry here into the game with that Void Rush, but going to get stopped as Chubby's going to clear out some vision now as well, but Rek'Sai in position, ready to attack an Infernum with a lot of vision control, especially around this mid-side river.
Absolutely, and the game's now the dance of vision. Whoever can see the most tends to win the game.
Yep. Blind
because
people
you can make picks.
struggling to play League of Legends.
Unless you lease in.
That's true. Well, Jack Attack getting powerful as well, as he does have that Iceborne Gauntlet, as well as the Swifty Boots. It'll be difficult to shake off, as Seb still takes a bit of damage from Rekt with that QR.
Well, to be fair, they all take damage from Rekt at the moment. But
He's
he's
got a
only
few items, yeah.
he's only really hurting one person at a time, as he's primarily actually using the QR.
What? Okay, Malaz is going to eat himself a troll. Rekt is coming down, though. We'll see exactly how much damage he can do to Jack Attack, who's pretty tanky right now. Uses the Subjugate, and he's just going 1v1. Doesn't even care. Rekt now in trouble. His mid-base teleports down. You can see in comes the rest of the cavalry. Man, AV, they have to be very careful. Jack Attack has this split push on lockdown.
Jack asking, who's next? Bring it on. This tank is phenomenal right now. Malaz can't take him out. He's just in damage control mode. They try and burst him down, but Rekt gets his distortion cancelled from the Pillar of Ice, or in this case, the Traffic Cone, and denies the chunk of damage. Jack just presses his ultimate with a very low cooldown. You can see it ticking back up to availability now in your top right. Pretty easy stuff. He can just stay down here in the bottom lane, be happy.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's exactly right. The scary part is that now this is the split-pushing Trundle, and the member of the team that AV are putting all their resources into is Destiny. The man is at 347 CS at 32 minutes. He was on 340 at 30 minutes into this game. That is a massive CS score.
Absolutely is. Destiny.
But he can't split push against Trundle.
He's got an interesting item build as well, going straight towards that last Whisper.
Yeah.
There's not a crazy amount of armor, but it's starting to reach the point of efficiency for him. Has that QSS, thankfully.
Well, Malaz now not taking all that much damage. He's got 3 defensive items on this Tahm Kench, and as he eats that grey health, you can see he gets a whole bunch of it back with that Spirit Visage, so he's pretty happy.
I don't think he was ever taking damage, just that Rekt came in and
the
started
wet
taking
noodle
damage.
fight, as it were.
Aptly named, of course, Jack Tank.
Potato Tank.
Nah, just Jack Tank now.
Well, Shelby throws out a cocoon. There's a Spiderling there as well. They're trying to protect their pink ward as they do move away. Rekt, of course, with a lot of burst damage in his back pocket. Don't want to go against it for now as Void Staff very close. 1,000 gold for Rekt to be complete monster, no matter who he's attacking.
Yeah. I think everyone's starting to power up again. The 3 big items for Stealthix is dangerous.
Yeah, he's 3-0-2.
And those 3 items are very effective against the carries here of Avant.
Scrying Orb is going to spot things out as Stealthix almost dies to 2 spells from Rekt. Okay. Malaz is hungry for trolls, man. He's well and truly eating Jack Attack whenever he can. There's the lick, gets the stun as well as Malaz winning for now, but look at how much health you get back when you press R.
Grab your popcorn, gents. We're in for a long one.
Yeah, this is taking a while. And Turret helping out once again as Malaz is like, I just don't do damage yet.
Jack doesn't want to fight him. That's the difference. He's trying to just farm minions. Malaz is telling him, no, you must battle me.
Yeah.
At least pop the ultimate, but it's already halfway back to available again here for Jack. I don't really want to watch that anyhow.
He's got 30% cooldown reduction just in items, so probably already at the 40% if he has any of his runes. And yeah, he'll just do that again. It'll be fine. Malaz still going toe-to-toe, but you can see even the passive from Jack Attack just doing so much work.
Yeah.
Oh, God, stop. We don't care about this lane, guys. They're not going to die. Okay, we'll just zoom in on him.
Very funny.
Yeah,
very funny.
hilarious
Oh, now
stuff.
we just zoomed in on Rekt as
Whoa,
well.
look at him take down that Caster Creep. Oh, he's so dead. Stealthix now looking to see what he can do. That was very loud, Seb. You're being obnoxious. As Shelby wants to try and get this pink ward.
Cocoon that.
Oh, no, no vision. Oh, I wanted to take the lantern anyway. He's going to do so. The Stealthix now has a Hex Drinker. He got almost bursted 100 to 0 and then said, okay, maybe I need some magic resist. Oh, God.
And he has to go for a Hex Drinker above a QSS because he needs to avoid that burst damage, and Hex Drinker is an efficient item to do so. May end up getting both.
Yeah.
Because honestly, he still needs a QSS to get away from all of the pick.
Oh, the chains land. Yuzuki has to use his ultimate. That's a big cooldown. The Rex managed to get out. We'll see whether AV can make any moves in this small window they've created.
This is not the greatest position for Infernum. We've questioned their shot calling in the past.
Oh, Shelby, he may once again be caught out. Flashes out of the way, but there's the Frozen Tomb, and he's dead. Infernum grab a pick off what looked like it was AV's advantage.
Yeah, he was needlessly in the middle lane. So the Avantgarde had an advantage in health bars, essentially, on most of their members. Yuzuki had to go back to base. But Shelby was farming the middle lane for no particular reason to try and control it.
Oh, well, now they're going to get the flash knock-up. Zeb over the top as Destiny's in there with a full culling. Jack Attack just tanking it up as Malaz, he's just being a meat shield in the front line, utilizes that extra health from the Grey Health as the box in a fantastic position, carries off to the side here for Avant as Zeb may fall down. Rex is able to lock down the kill, but they're diving the turret. Malaz somehow still alive, as he's once again going to eat that Grey Health. Nice last rocket as Stealthix may now be in trouble. Destiny all the way forward, but gets knocked up. Is able to use the QSS. Oh, Stealthix tanking up the turret. Doesn't even care. Moves out of range, and Infernum are on fire.
Disrespecting the Avantgarde carries as well. Taking out tanks first. Infernum come up huge in that fight. And that's just solid team play from these guys pretty much across the board, even without a Lissandra ultimate available to them. And this is entirely coming down to Jack Attack, because he does not die. He doesn't lose health.
Yeah, well, Shelby, surprise, surprise, looking to try and get caught one more time. Wrecked, even going to take a claw to the face. And I don't know what's happening with Shelby today, but that is just not where you want to be, buddy.
No, they were waiting for Seb to respawn anyway, solely because they had no smite available to them if they started the Baron. That was pretty predictable bait here, but Shelby goes down for it, and the Baron's free. This is a massive advantage now forming for Infernum. Even if it's only a 3k gold lead, they have absolute control of the entire map as Seb, he engages onto Blind Turkey. Look at Jack, by the way, presses R, 900 health back, insane. 240 every single tick of it if he's missing any health. Not an issue. They kind of disrespect the Avantgarde carry, Seb just zoning, so Seb does die. But the fact that Stealthix can go onto a Tahm Kench, kill the Tahm Kench, and still win a team fight says a lot about what's happening. Yuzuki, flash pulverized, credit to him, keeps him alive.
Yeah, well, Dragon number 4 going to go down here as Infernum lock that up as well. And it seems like every objective on the map now belongs to this Infernum squad. Midbeast, of course, didn't have a great time in the laning phase. Still down a whole bunch of CS, but look at his scoreline, 4-1 and 3. He's doing great things in these team fights, exactly. That utility's still there. And another shout out to the immortal Stealthix, the KDA King, 505 now on this Corki. 0-0-11 for Yuzuki in his breakout game as Stealthix taking a lot of damage. Wrecked, able to get, oh my god, destroyed! Shutdown comes in for Midbeast as Seb's underneath the turret. Malaz once again tanking, but he takes a lantern ride. Yuzuki just says, I'm really angry, I'm a cow, we're going to lock down this turret. And they do. Brute Force coming in for Avant.
They can keep going here, Infernum. Really easy for them to take the rest of this base with Avantgarde's mid laner dead. They have no pick, they have no burst. Destiny!
Yeah, Headbutt Pulp comes in on him, he gets destroyed, can't QSS death, mate. And he is going to fall down. There's the minions heading towards the Nexus turret. Seb right amongst it, gets a nice double knockup. Their Stealthix has lots of damage from the back end. Malaz now just trying to tank where he can, but they have no damage left. Nexus turrets falling left, right, and center. AV, a valiant defense at the moment, but they're not going to be able to do it. Infernum secure their first map of the OPL, and they look great now with Yuzuki subbing in on support.
Feels like they fight with a lot more conviction now, this Infernum lineup. Having that second shot calling option and someone to give them the go button that isn't a mid laner, that isn't desperately going to have to position perfect by saying go, sets these guys up for an easy victory, and it's on the back of a lot of positional mistakes from Avantgarde.
Yeah, really, really nice play there from Infernum, but we are going to throw it over to our analyst to break down that game.
Thank you so much, Atlas. And that was a pretty good performance by Infernum there, able to lock it down. But before we get into it, before we get down to the details, we actually had a tweet from the Chiefs jungler. Spooks had this to say: I hate Zach. So civil. Have you given the Chiefs jungler nightmares, do you think?
Yeah, it looks like it. I'm sorry, Spooks, but I just love him too much.
And is this going to be something that you know you're in their head? Are you going to take it into the next series? Just be like, look, we still have this.
Ban it, boys.
Ban it? Bad Zach. There you go. I actually thought they should have banned it game 2. But coming back to this game, we were looking at it, and Avant got off to an absolute flyer. We thought this was probably going to be over in short measure.
Yeah, it actually looked like AV had the sort of good lead. Like Seb got chunked out by Tom. It wasn't looking good for him early, and then I think Rekt got up in CS. It was looking really good mid, and then I don't really know. They sort of just got rolled over after mid-game, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot of what we expect, I think, from Avant. Just strong pressure from Shelby, even though at least maybe wasn't as aggressive as he could have been. But Rekt looking good on a signature champion that he's known for in LeBlanc. And the bottom lane playing just as good as they always do. Like, things were going well for Avant, but Infernum just somehow found a way.
Yeah, they were really able to turn it around. Looking at their bottom lane, they were under a lot of fire early. When your top lane's losing, when your mid lane's losing, and your jungler is behind, it's very easy to get down. But Yuzuki, we actually have a replay of it, was able to pull out some sweet moves in some teamfights. Pastry, take us through this.
Yeah, so before we roll this, just to remind you, this is a debut game for Yuzuki in the OPL. He messed up real bad, flash polving and missing in lane. So this is a big redemption moment for him. Let's roll the clip out now and just watch the express he takes in the minion line here. Lines up the headbutt, flashes in, and goodbye Destiny. Mid-beast flashes in as well. Seb gets a great backline 3-man knockup as well. And this is just clean up. Malaz, he's going to take a while to die, but Avant lost their carry. They can't do anything anymore.
Yeah, they certainly did. What else impressed me was Yuzuki always at the front of the fight. He's also looking to zone afterwards. Just so much pressure coming out of the support. I think he finished something along the lines of 0-0, 12, or 13. The bottom lane didn't die in general for Infernum, and that's a whole lot of good things, especially against your boy Destiny. He said, look for him to be one of the carries. Maybe Infernum showing off here.
Yeah. It really did look like that. Who was their ADC again?
Stealthix.
Yeah. Stealthix really carried there. He definitely pulled his weight. Really got in the front. I saw him flashing forward a few times. That was pretty good.
I have to say proud of him there as well. Stealthix known for not dying. He is the immortal, but sometimes, not dies to a fault, doesn't get aggressive. Was able to get more aggressive this game, and Infernum are just on the same page at every turn. I don't know if it's just Yuzuki leading them or someone else really rallying, but the teamwork here is exactly what I wanted to see. This game looked great from them.
And what I want to talk about is Avant. Their draft looked good, but it was maybe a little bit disrespectful because they got the picks they want, maybe not necessarily meta picks, but across the other side of the board, they gave away arguably strongest in every single role. You're looking at a Corki, you're looking at Alistar, you're looking at Trundle, Lissandra, Rek'Sai. That's a pretty good team comp to give away.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest issue with drafting is that you kind of you have to apply pressure early when you pick LeBlanc Elise, and you're giving away late game Trundle. Rek'Sai always has good control, a perfectly good bottom lane, and one of the best control meters. You're almost asking for the game to go to 25 minutes and then you to lose, and that's kind of what happened.
And we were saying that as long as Jack Attack didn't do nothing in that game, at a certain point he was just going to tick over to unkillable, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, exactly. I think I said it before, but I think as long as Trundle didn't get irrelevant, then I think they just outscaled them way too easily.
Yeah, and we saw that in the last team fight. We're going to pull it up on your screen for you guys, because what I loved about this is that they just stay aggressive. So as we roll this one out, Infernum is a team that doesn't look to get aggressive very often, but you see Seb at the front of the team fight, willing to go in. Jack just ults Malaz here and makes him irrelevant in the team fight. Stealthic able to clean up everything else. Seb does go a little bit aggressive here, trying to zone the LeBlanc and will fall down. But overall, that's a pretty clean team fight. That's some good moves there from the Infernum lineup. And when you see a team playing this aggressively, it just looks much smoother, and they're going to be able to close out games. And that's what they struggled with last week against the Hellions.
Easy to save here at the end as well. Yuzuki once more coming up clutch, but I really love that from Celtics as well. Yuzuki definitely showing up. Aggressive play across the board for me. Alistar definitely cleaning up after maybe the flub at level 1. I think Yuzuki, you said it, not flashing, but Valkyrieing forward aggressively, just turns and fights him under a tower. That's the Celtics I want to see. Yeah. And he still didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really impressive to see. So is this, I guess, late game aggression what we expect out of Infernum? Because they got ahead early and weren't able to win. Do you think that they're just throwing caution to the wind at the moment? They're we need to find a way to win these games?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was very good to see them pull the trigger there and just get ahead and then know how to close it. Because after last week, that's what they needed to do, and they failed to do it twice, but here they are, and they did it well.
And what did you think about Seb's jungling performance? Maybe not getting ahead this time, but a little bit more consistent in the late game?
For sure. Considering his early game was it was a bit rough, but yeah, he did well. He did well after that.
Certainly did, and that means that Infernum was able to pick up the Game 1 victory. Don't go anywhere, guys, because in about 3 minutes, they're going to take to the Rift again to see who wins Game 2.